Advertisement. 13 people are dead, including 7 children, after a fire tore through a duplex apartment inside a Philadelphia housing authority building where 18 people were living on Wednesday morning. The blaze was first reported at 6:38 a.m. at 860 North 23rd Street in the Fairmount neighborhood of the city, where 26 people were living across 2 apartments on 3 floors. 18 people occupied the second and third floor duplex apartment, and 8 live on the first floor. The fire began on the second floor, then spread upwards, tearing through the top of the building. By the time firefighters could get inside around 50 minutes later, 13 of the 18 in the second and third floor apartment had died. Firefighters rescued 2 survivors, one of whom was a child and is now in the hospital. The 8 residents of the first floor apartment were able to escape unharmed. Fire chiefs fear they may recover more bodies inside the homes as they work through the debris. The cause of the fire remains unknown. There were 4 smoke detectors across the 2 apartments, but none sounded the alarm on Wednesday. Philadelphia Housing Authority says all were inspected in May and were working. Mayor Jim Kenney choked on tears as he spoke at the scene. He called it, without a doubt, one of the most tragic days in the city's history. The blaze was reported at 6:38 a.m. at 860 North 23rd Street. It started on the second floor, then ripped through the third floor of the building, killing at least 13 people, including 7 kids. The Philadelphia Fire Department works at the scene of a deadly row house fire in Philadelphia on Wednesday, January 5, 2022. Firefighters and police responded to the fatal fire at a 3-story row house in the city's Fairmount neighborhood around 6:40 a.m. and found flames coming from the second-floor windows, fire officials said. A Philadelphia firefighter works at the scene of a deadly row house fire, Wednesday, January 5, 2022, in the Fairmount neighborhood of Philadelphia. Bystanders watch as the Philadelphia Fire Department works at the scene of a deadly row house fire in Philadelphia on Wednesday. An unidentified woman reacts at the scene of a deadly row house fire, Wednesday, January 5, 2022, in the Fairmount neighborhood of Philadelphia. Mayor Jim Kenney choked on tears as he spoke at the scene. He called it, without a doubt, one of the most tragic days in the city's history. The Philadelphia Fire Department works at the scene of a deadly row house fire in Philadelphia Wednesday, January 5, 2022. Multiple fatalities have been confirmed in the fire. The fire was at 860 North 23rd Street in Philadelphia, less than 2 miles north of the city center and its famous Rittenhouse Square. Please keep all these folks and these children in your prayers. Losing so many kids is devastating. Keep these babies in your prayers, he said. Fire chiefs struggled to put into words the horror of the blaze while giving an update on Wednesday morning. I've been around for 35 years now, and this is probably one of the worst fires I've ever been to. I don't have the words for how we're feeling right now, Philadelphia Deputy Fire Commissioner Craig Murphy said. He added that more bodies may be discovered as fire companies work through the damage. That number is dynamic, BC, there's still an ongoing recovery effort inside. That number sits right now at 13. We also had 8 people self-evacuate. As of right now, the fire marshal along with the ATF are in the process of doing a thorough investigation of this terrible event. Neighbors watched in horror on Wednesday as firefighters continued to work through the scene. Philadelphia firefighters work at the scene of a deadly row house fire, Wednesday, January 5, 2022, in the Fairmount neighborhood of Philadelphia. Mayor Jim Kenney visits the scene of a fatal fire in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on Wednesday, January 5, 2022. Firefighters and police responded to the fire at a 3-story row house in the city's Fairmount neighborhood around 6:40 a.m. Firefighters are still working through the debris inside the building. The deputy fire commissioner warned there may be more victims recovered. I knew some of those kids. I used to see them playing on the corner, said Danny Maguire, 34, fighting back tears as she and Martin Burgett, 35, stood in the doorway of a home around the corner. They had lived there for a decade, she said, and some of those kids have lived here as long as us. I can't picture how more people couldn't get out, jumping out a window, she said. The building was an old row home that had been converted into 2 different apartments. According to Philadelphia Housing Authority CEO Kelvin A. Jeremiah, the building was last inspected in May and all of the smoke detectors were working. This unimaginable loss of life has shaken all of us at PHA. It is too early for us to say more. The property was last inspected in May 2021, and all the smoke detectors were operating properly at that time, Jeremiah said.